Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Happy Hump Day. I've covered this topic before, but we're going to take a deeper dive into it. Also, shout out to China Observer. If you want to see the full video, I'll leave the link in the description, as I'm only going to play like the first 6-7 minutes of it. It's a 15-minute video, but the first 6 minutes of it is very important, and I'm going to go over it. Because me, myself, I'm in the Bay Area. On top of that, I work in healthcare, which means I'm exposed to all kinds of ethnicities, mainly Asian and Spanish and white people. But we're going to talk about Chinese and Filipino couples, because now Chinese men are going to the Philippines looking for wives. I mean, a lot of people do that. People have been doing that for years, but it's just more common now from people from other Asian countries going to another Asian country looking for a wife. Because as we all know, China is expensive and the women are expensive. So let's take a deep dive into what's going on here.
These three girls all came from the Philippines to marry guys in China. The pregnant one's my wife. That one's got a kid already too. At this rate, our whole village will end up with Filipino wives.
Crazy. That's crazy.
We've got 4 already, and another guy's in the works. He's heading to the Philippines this Christmas to marry his girl and bring her back. In August, a farmer vlogger from western Guangdong revealed that a Filipino woman had married into his village. She's been living in China for 7 to 8 years and is now raising 2 children. At this rate, the whole village is going to end up with Filipino wives. In a separate video, a vlogger addressed questions from internet users about marrying Filipino women. A ton of folks online keep asking, won't those Filipino wives just take off? Let me tell you straight, they won't. Why is that funny? Because in the Philippines, divorce isn't a thing. They've got marriage certificates, but no divorce papers. So, how do you even get divorced? Some people also ask, if you don't speak the same language, how do you talk? Simple, we use WeChat. It's got auto-translate, so chatting's a breeze.
Thank God for technology, because there'll be less of this happening if it wasn't for all the translators services in social media, right? So it makes things even easier. Let's go handling honey. Why? We are going to my store later. Why? The supplier has delivered the goods to my store. What kind of goods?
No issues there. But here's the real kicker. The worry isn't her running off. It's if you ever want out. Good luck. Divorce isn't happening. Philippine law doesn't allow it. You get a marriage certificate. That's valid everywhere. And you're locked in. You can't undo it. Not even in China. That certificate's on record worldwide. Showing.
Yeah, so you better think about it if you're really going to do it. Divorce is unheard of in the Philippines.
When you're hitched, try marrying someone else? That's bigamy, and it's a crime. So, marry a Filipino girl. You'll never stress about her leaving. The video triggered widespread online engagement.
You don't have to worry about her leaving, but what if you're tired of her? You can't just up and get rid of her like that. You done opened up a whole nother can of worms.
Viewers from Guangdong, Guangxi, Zhejiang, and other regions commented, asking the vlogger to introduce them to Filipino brides.
Dang, they just working around, waiting like a bunch of gangsters in coats. They got the fresh kicks on and everything. The casual kicks.
One user commented, marrying a Filipino wife is a great deal. Chinese wives often avoid cleaning and expect financial support, while a Filipino wife doubles as a housekeeper.
Ooh, that shot's fired right there. I know that's gonna piss some people off. I'm not the one that made this video, so you can't get mad at me. I'm just looking at how I see it. I could pretty much verify what's right and wrong, because I'm friends with these people, even business owners. Like I said, I work with these people. I went to school with them. I know their families, and they welcome me into their households with welcoming arms. So I could pretty much tell you how it is. As a black person, I'm like every ethnicity in one man. And yes, I took that lyric from Nas. If you know, you know. If you don't, you're probably too young, or you're just not hip.
Another user wrote, hello handsome, finding your video feels like fate. I'm from Yangjiang. Can you introduce Filipino girls to my sons? Both are unmarried. Other comments included, the bride price for a Filipino wife is around 10,000 yuan. Only the paperwork costs are high. And, hello handsome, I'm from Huazhou. Can you introduce someone? My brother is 34 and still single.
That's all right. And check this out. Here's the thing. So my hometown of Vallejo, California, full of Filipinos. Went to high school with a bunch of Filipinos. Principals and teachers, Filipinos. And you want to know what's funny about Filipinos? Regardless of your race, if you're single and if they have nieces your age as a man, they're going to try to put you on. Or they'll try to put you on with their friends back home in the Philippines. If you're up to the challenge of going over there, getting to know them, send for them, and all that shit. But that's a little too much for me. Anyway, keep going.
Another user praised, Filipino girls are more considerate than Chinese girls.
Oh.
They're tidy, diligent, and attractive. I recommend finding a wife in the Philippines.
I heard that's the best deal, but to be honest with you, it's like it might be cheaper because to get the attractive Chinese women, you gotta have some money. And we all know what goes on with the Chinese women, the liberated Chinese women here in California. They usually tend to go for white guys, right? White guys with money.
In recent years, Chinese social media discussions about rural men marrying foreign brides have intensified. A growing gender imbalance in rural areas with more single men drives this trend. Women from Vietnam and the Philippines are increasingly viewed as a solution to this social challenge. Young people in mainland China face intense economic pressures, and marriage often requires a costly bride price, a house, and a car.
And see, most Chinese guys, they can't afford their own women. That's why they're going this route. They're going to Vietnamese women and Filipino women. And those, if I had to go the Asian route, I'd probably do Vietnamese and Filipinos too. That's just what I'm used to.
Many young men, especially those born in the 1980s and 1990s, find marriage unattainable and express skepticism.
Now look at his big ass gut. This is a sign of laziness. This dude right here in the red hat is too cool. He got the cigarette in his mouth. I like the Mickey Mouse shirt because when I was a kid, even though Disney now, I look at Disney completely different now, but when I was a kid and I didn't know what was going on with the pervert industry, Mickey Mouse was the shit. Mickey was the mouse. So, went for Mickey Mouse, I'm Mickey Man. Mickey Man without this big ass gut. And these are the guys that are going to the strip clubs and shit and just being perverts because you're just not attractive with that big ass gut.
Skepticism about love. A vlogger explained that unlike China's demands for a high bride price, a house, and a car, marrying a Filipino bride is straightforward. If she likes you, a meal, a ring, and a pass are enough to get married.
But there's levels to it though. You have to send money back home to the village. So when the money dries up, when there's no more water left in the well, what do you think's gonna happen? Pew! Off to the next one. So the grass ain't really greener on the other side. It still requires money. Especially for you idiots that think that you get women for free. Yeah, that was a trial that you got for free. You didn't live with him, you didn't marry him, and you didn't have no kids with him. So of course your dumb ass is gonna say I get women for free. But yeah, a one night stand. Or a few one night stands. But once your trial was up, she realized you was broke and you wasn't gonna do nothing for her. So she left your broke ass.
This contrast makes Filipino brides highly appealing to single Chinese men. A vlogger showcased several Filipino wives living in our village.
Whoa,
guys, look who showed up at our shop tonight. These friends are all from the Philippines. So how many of you are Filipino? 1, 2, 3, 4? Okay, 4 of them.
I think I'll take the one in the pink shirt. Maybe the one in the blue too. Not bad at all.
But maybe they don't speak much Chinese. Anyone here who speaks Chinese?
She knows a little bit, just a little. I married a Filipino gal, and we're living out in the countryside. She keeps saying it's boring at our place. Same old, nothing going on. But isn't that just rural life? She says she's not happy, but we've been here for decades, making our own joy. You've got to find happiness in the countryside too, right? So I take her shopping to perk her up.
Uh-oh. Is he a simp? He took her out shopping. Oh my goodness. I hope you ain't getting played.
A Chinese vlogger has issued a reminder, warning men who are rushing to the Philippines in search of wives to be cautious as the reality is far more complex.
Lately, I've seen too many Chinese guys online envying the idea of marrying a Filipino girl. They say Chinese women ask for a car, a house, a bride price, but Filipino girls don't ask for anything. They are hardworking too. Don't get fooled by the hype. Let's be real for a second. Sure, some of them are mixed race beauties, but others are single mums who had to grow up fast.
You hear that? And see, I thought it was just black guys that settle for low-hanging fruit, single mothers and everything. But no, it's actually a large group of older white guys doing that shit too. So the goal is to avoid single mothers, right? Most people want to keep their own bloodline. So this has nothing to do with me insulting people, but how many guys do you know actually want to be stepfathers and shit? Spending their money on somebody else's kid that wasn't worth a damn. The father wasn't worth a damn. The father was quote unquote getting free pussy, hooking up and everything. And then a guy that has his shit together comes along and takes responsibility. That's not right.
Some might see marrying a Chinese man as a way to move up in life, but others may just want you to support their entire family.
And that's exactly what you'll be doing. They don't require all these dowries and all these cars and houses and shit, but you still have to send the money back home to their village so then they could buy their own homes, cars, and stuff. It's almost the same thing. It's just not as much money.
And they will drain you dry.
The vlogger noted that abortion is illegal in the Philippines, leading many young women from poor families to become single mothers at a young age.
So, divorce is illegal. Abortion is illegal. Yeah, they tightening it down. See, in America, you can do whatever you want. That's why women don't respect men in America.
Still children themselves, they must raise their own.
So this looks like a Chinese guy with a Filipino beauty.
Driving them to seek financial stability. They are often hardworking, diligent, and keep the home spotless. However,
look at his face. Look at he's smiling. Like, yeah. They both smiling. Wow. Happiness in paradise. Now, what makes it interesting is, what about if he brings her back to China? What is his family going to say about her? Does she speak Chinese? Does she know the culture? She knows how to cook. I mean, that's pretty obvious right there. You see the pots on the ground. So the question is, did he win or did he lose?
However, some may expect support for their entire families. In rare cases, men marrying Filipino women have been deceived, losing both money and marriage. Some social media users recommend marrying
Okay, we got Vietnamese beauties right here. Okay.
Vietnamese women. One user commented, "Filipino wives don't seem very attractive.
Oh, now how you gonna generalize a whole race and say that? That's like saying all black people are ugly, nappy hair, dark skin, whatever. Psh.
Your village's sake, consider a Vietnamese wife. Vietnamese girls are prettier." Another countered, "Vietnamese women aren't dependable. I want a partner for life, not just beauty. Someone..."
So basically they're saying they're more beautiful, but they're not as reliable as a mate. Wow. So how do you generalize a whole race? I don't understand that.
Too attractive feels less trustworthy. In recent years, many Chinese men
The hell?
have married Vietnamese women, with some proudly showcasing their
I'm not getting on my knees. That's bullshit.
attractive partners on social media. I didn't spend a single cent back then and still managed to bring home a Vietnamese wife. She's 15 years younger than me.
Sugar daddy. Nah, I'm joking.
One vlogger shared his story. After a divorce, he moved to Vietnam to start a business. Just as he began to make money, he was scammed by a new girlfriend.
Shit.
It was during his lowest point that his current wife chose to be with him. But not all experiences are so positive. I really regret marrying my Vietnamese wife.
Uh-oh, trouble in paradise. The grass wasn't greener on the other side. Y'all goofy, sex-starved, just starving.
Honestly, poor folks like us just aren't cut out for international marriages. Hey,
Rule number 1, if you ain't got no money, you don't get married.
Everyone, I'm Ah Liang, living in Vietnam. Today, I'm breaking down the headaches of cross-border marriages, hoping you'll hear me out and maybe avoid some pitfalls. First off, if you settle in China, your wife can't work there legally. Buying insurance? Nope. A green card? Forget it. That's even tougher, unless you've got your own business to employ her, but that's rare. Once kids come, the pressure's on. You're footing nearly all the family bills alone. Truth is, most Vietnamese women, about 80%, marry into China to escape poverty back home. They're banking on a better life with you, not more hardship. After a while in China, they'll miss home. Even one yearly visit means a month away, with visas, flights, and other costs piling up. You can't roll up empty-handed either. Gifts for her family are a must, and how much depends on your wallet. If her family's really struggling, she might even send them money every month.
You want to know something funny? One of my Chinese friends that runs her own business told me this. She said she's expected to send her elders money back to China. Yeah, so it's real. On top of that, she's also helping her brother who has financial issues and he's blacklisted. So yeah, I can verify all this shit. You can't tell me anything. If you get to know people and not judge them for whatever they're doing, you get to find out how things are back home. So hopefully you guys get something out of this. And hopefully you boomers stop falling for all the traps and getting suckered. Because I'm seeing videos every day about 60 and 70-year-olds getting played, getting their bank account drained and everything. But that can happen to anybody at any age. Especially when you're dealing with foreign women. I'm not saying that all foreign women are bad. What I'm saying is, don't be a menace. Don't be a menace. This is Kai Laveo. Like I said, I'm going to leave the link, the original post from China Observer, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.